Hello, I'm Mark,
I'm Casey.
And I'm Patrick.
and today we're going to talk about the Ecological Paradise. Do you know what that is? We'll let you know in a moment, but first we're going to roll that title.
It's a wonderland.
You're watching the Tesla Life Express.
Hey everyone, thanks very much for joining us today. Wanted to talk a little bit about Giga Texas and the Ecological Paradise that we've heard so much about when Giga Texas was being planned. And Elon had indicated that there was going to be a number of walking and biking trails, going to have some sort of a riverfront boardwalk, some fishing areas, some playgrounds, and orchards. And according to the Travis County report obtained by Bloomberg, it's also going to include some sports complexes with tennis courts, baseball field, soccer pitch. And recently, the Travis County submission indicated that this actual park is going to have an estimate benefit to nearly 20,000 households in the area, because of course this ecological park is not going to just be for people that are at the plant or work there. They're going to open it up to the surrounding community and allow people to use the trails and facilities that will be built around Texas, Gigafactory Texas in Austin here. And it's going to create some jobs. It's going to, of course, benefit the community. And this article in Teslarati that we're quoting from, you can see it in the quote, the notes below. But it is that this is going to start being built as Tesla was, as Elon put it, on financial good footing. So they, of course, did not want to start building this before Gigafactory Texas was up and running properly, that the cars were being pumped out. Now we've got cars and, of course, trucks from the same facility, and it's looking like this particular park is going to be built, and it's just going to be starting to be added in phases, not all completely at once, but they'll start to put in some trails and some bike and walking trails, and of course the boardwalk down by the water feature probably will be something that gets started sooner than later. But this is, I think that the people that live in the area are anticipating this. This would be very interesting to see it coming to your community, and it's something that you don't hear too often with corporate America rolling this type of things into one of their larger facilities that's actually manufacturing, in this case, vehicles.
So I was thinking that this was something more like one of those things that Elon just says, because the man does just say stuff sometimes.
Really, you think?
Yeah, like our roller coaster in Fremont, for instance.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
Yeah, we did get a fun slide, but I don't think that the roller coaster was ever actually done, or at least nobody's taken any pictures of it. And we saw this in the video that we spoke about earlier this week, where Joe Tigmeyer saw the Model Ys and Cybertrucks driving themselves to the outbound lane, and their own individual outbound lanes as assigned.
Right.
And so he covered it. I was short for time, so I clipped through it, and I noticed that he was talking about this. And so thankfully, these folks made an article on it, so we could discuss more on it. It's not without, it's not all roses and sunshine like Elon described, nor is it the case of it not happening. What more is on it there, Mark?
Well, the extra part of this is that not everyone is up for this. There is an Austin environmental advocate, Paul DeFleur, who reviewed the earlier draft plans in 2022 when it first came out and noticed that there is a shift in focus from what was recently submitted. And he indicated that the exception of significant acreage of restoration or what they call ecological uplift at various places on the property appears to be gone in favor of some recreation opportunities along the riverfront, which would provide less conservation value, but more, maybe more people value. And with basically no community input or engagement along the way, as Paul indicated. So there's not, he's indicating this is kind of a closed opportunity that Tesla is doing as they see fit and not taking a lot of input from the community, or maybe Paul's ecological group specifically, that Paul has a little bit of a problem with how it's starting to change, as he put.
I mean, they could do nothing. I mean, right now it looks like a construction site. You got just barren ground and silt catchers. There's that. So what's his problem? Is that it's going to be more of a park than a wilderness?
Well, he's indicating that the conservation of restoring the lands to original, I guess, part of a river watershed, which of course the factory is along the river, is that he's saying some of that has been changed in favor of putting a sports field, putting a tennis court, something that benefits people's recreation as opposed to restoring the land to maybe the original use as part of the watershed.
I mean, did they ever sell it that way to the public? I mean, I always thought it was.
Well, in the 2022 submission, they did indicate that yes, these changes were going to be more conservation pointed. Not all of it, some of it was going to have it. Paul's saying that the new submission shows that those aspects of it are gone.
Well, I still see the ecological circle, so I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, if it's completely gone, I can kind of see where he's going from.
Right, it's not completely gone. He's just saying that the expectation of the ecological uplift at various places on the property, in the submitted one just happened recently, they appear to be gone in favor of more recreational opportunities.
Well, now when Paul and his group come to protest, they can go to the nice picnic spot and after and sit in the shade of all the trees that Tesla planted to cool off.
And as they wait, they can maybe have a game of tennis and then then participate in the picketing. Yes,
right. The way you described it, I always pictured something like Texas's version of Central Park, where it was going to be pretty and there was going to be greenery, but it wasn't going to be necessarily native. I mean, not saying that they were going to bring in invasive species or anything, but that it was going to be something that you'd want to spend time in and enjoy, and that it was going to be kind of people focused, and then a little bit, whatever's left off was the environment, and then the remainder was the factory.
Maybe I can share this particular photo here. Let's go ahead and try this sharing.
Mr. Flower said about. It is an app's name if he wants more flowers.
It's not letting me share it, of course.
It says it's going to have 6 tennis courts, but I don't know if it's like around here. Whenever you see tennis courts, they're empty. If you see pickleball courts, there's people waiting. So they should take out the 6 tennis courts and put in 12 pickleball courts instead.
There you go.
It'd probably have a lot higher utilization.
Yeah, I also wonder if the surface is going to be that permeable pavement, like it's basically invisible to the environment. Well, not zero, but like the water goes straight through. There's
right.
No,
porous concrete. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Porous concrete.
So you can see here 290 acres of waterfront green space, 31.5 acre outdoor workplace, and 6 all-inclusive social circles. Now, what a social circle is, I really don't know.
Yeah, they've
Um,
kind of explained that a little bit here. So they have different sections that are dedicated to different areas. So that in the south is the ecological circle, above that is the sports circle. So you kind of put the stuff together and then they have an outdoor workspace area, and that also has a Tesla Expo. And then the community circle, where I assume this will be like picnic areas and stuff like that. And then an outdoor classroom so that you can come and learn about the environment here and walk these trails.
And it looks like they're all following the river basin. So all these different sections are connected by the river.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense because, of course, the factory is located along a river, really. A greater river basin. But that's that's kind of interesting that that they would again, Paul's group is looking for conservation, restoring the land to its original use, which of course was mentioned in the original report. But with this updated one, we're seeing this stuff about the sports circle, for example, where the tennis courts and such are being added. But again, it's specific to people's use and needs of that community. And I think that, you know, although some people would certainly enjoy the land being returned to the previous what it was, especially if there was places to learn about that, like there was, you know, Patrick mentioned about the outdoor classroom. I'm sure some of it is going to be used for that. But having some of the recreational opportunities that the community doesn't have already would be a plus too. So it really depends on the clientele that's going to be using these areas. I'm sure some would enjoy it, and some would enjoy it more if it was, you know, catered to what they felt they wanted. So, you know, isn't that a problem with all people anyways, is that we all can't agree. We have to give and take on everything in order to you know, satisfy everybody. The plan does have to be modified sometimes.
Yeah. The one thing I'm looking at here, though, the silver lining for Mr. Flower is that if you've got the people outdoors enjoying the outdoors, then they will be more in favor of things that will keep the air breathable. You know, the products coming out of that factory instead of the other products that makes Drill Baby Drill.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
absolutely. Yeah, if you enjoy nature and outdoors, you're going to want to protect it.
Yeah,
it's funny how often like conservationists and hunters are on the same side of stuff. They have different uses, but they all want to protect the forest areas.
Yeah, it reminds me of that the argument that Elon likes to throw out there about the the humanists or whatever, where their whole argument is there are too many people, so eliminate all people. Whoa, too far.
Yeah,
that's not helping out the overall cause, you know.
Argument absurdia, logical fallacy. Yes.
Yeah. And you know what this kind of reminds me of? The situation that happened at Giga Berlin when Tesla came in to build it. They had to cut down a number of trees, and they indicated that we're going to go back and we're going to put the more than the amount of trees that we cut down, but we're also going to modify those trees so that we're putting in the hardwoods and the different varieties of trees that used to be this forest, as opposed to the cardboard forest that we're cutting down. Trees that are just used for pulp. Them going in and saying we're going to double the amount of trees or triple the amount of trees that we've taken down, but also add the proper trees to the forest that exist, and not just plant them in rows, but of course move them around so that all the trees have a chance of prospering in that particular spot, that they're not robbing sunlight from each other. You're putting them there so that it is a permanent forest, and wildlife can move back in again, because it's not just one species of tree that's going to be planted. It's going to be planted because this is going to be a forest.
Right. And then the bee, the bats, and the whatever else that kept stopping, the snakes, will be able to enjoy their life as it once was, instead of making do with a cardboard pine, and and
Exactly.
see them in neat.
Also, but how many of the naysayers were out there when this plan had started, and they were chiming that, hey, it hasn't happened yet. How come there's not any trees being planted? How come we're not seeing this? And it's like, well, Tesla does have to get the factory up and running first. Right. After that's done, and we've got the access roads and the structure in place, then we'll start adding trees to the forest area that we've outlined. And sure enough, they did it. They added the forest. They put in 3 times the amount of trees. They added the diversity of trees that they promised they would. And this kind of reminds me of that. Is that some want the progress quicker. They want it better than even advertised. And it's like, okay, as you mentioned, Casey, they really don't have to do any of this. This is an added bonus to the community and for the people that live and work in that area. So they say they're going to do it, and I believe they will do it. And I think it may not be to everyone's timetable, but as they've done in other places, they have a track record that they do what they say they're going to do.
Yeah, and then also not putting those trees down in neat little rows discourages anybody who gets the site after them. To not then say, oh, look at all this hardwood we can harvest.
Yeah.
Even worse than the pine.
So I for one look forward to this when it starts to come together, and it'll be interesting to see what aspects they put into play first. My guess is probably the trails would make a lot of sense to start putting those in place. And then, as Patrick mentioned, those social circles could be added to that trail system at any point, connecting the dots along the riverbank for that property. It would make a lot of sense, I think.
And then the tennis pickleball courts coming.
The conversion of tennis to pickleball is high on Patrick's list. Yes.
Yes. You can fit 2 pickleball courts where 1 tennis court goes.
Oh, it's so much more efficient.
Yes, exactly.
Very good. Very good. Well, I think we'll wrap it there. Casey, any shout outs this week?
Yeah. Catch me over at and friends over at CaseyGreen youtube.com/Casey Green or at x.com/gcustom. Who knows who will turn up? Last week we had Brian from Futurazza, and that'll be at about 1:10 Eastern. Then catch us back here Monday, same time, same place, for same time as this show, not my show, 7 p.m. Eastern for a Tesla Life Express Edition 2. And then again on Wednesday for the live show.
Very good. Very good, Patrick.
Hello, everybody. As always, I'm with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association, whichever side is on. Here you go. You can find us at oeva.org, and I blog occasionally at carswithcords.net. I have an article coming out in 2 days, the 13th, where you can read about my winter driving range and what impact it had, and winter tires, colder weather. And it's not as bad as I expected, but I won't say what it was. You got to read the article.
There you go.
Thanks.
Exactly. And that's why Patrick's wearing a hat today, because he's talking about winter range.
That's right. Yeah. The weather here in the spring, one day it's nice, the next day it's rainy and cold. It's you never know.
It's a mixed bag in Oregon, isn't it, when it comes to spring?
Yep.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. If you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up on the video. Press that subscribe to help us out. And we'll get together next time. And together we'll find out what's happening in the Tesla life.
Yay. See you next time.